organizations such as the Student Health Center, Black Men United, and the Rider Spanish Club, one section was dedicated to outside organizations that also work with Rider and its students. Messages of support, good music, and fun activities were offered to students all around campus. Read more about the wellness event written by Morgan Dickens on theridernews.com. After a season in which both teams failed to qualify for the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Tournament for the first time in university history, 7 Broncs from Rider's men's and women's basketball programs have announced their entrance into the transfer portal. In January 2026, the NCAA announced changes and new rules to the transfer portal, most notably closing the window from 30 days to 15 days. With that, the women's portal opened on April 6th and will close on April 20th, and the men's portal opened on April 7th, closing on April 21st. 3 female players announced their entrance into the portal, all of which shared their gratitude for the family-like culture of their team. On the men's side of things, there's Cole McCabe, Flash Burton, Caleb Smith, and Kristupas Kevizinskis. Their connections, teammates, and the opportunity to play at the Division I level is what marked their time with the Broncs. With the portal's close quickly approaching and 7 Broncs announcing their potential departures, the men's and women's basketball programs will face the usual off-season of transition and adaptation. Check out the rest of my story at theridernews.com. All of this week's content can be found on our website, and be sure to stay updated by following the Rider News on all of your social media platforms. I'm Samantha Clark, and this has been your Rider News Roundup.
That's all the headlines for this week's Rider News Roundup. But don't worry, we've got you covered every Wednesday with a brand new report to keep you in the know. Catch up on all the stories anytime at theridernews.com and listen to every roundup on demand at 1077thebronc.com/Rider News Roundup. Because when it comes to what's happening at Rider, you'll always hear it here first. And now, let's get back to the biggest hits and the best variety only on 1077 The Bronc.
1077 The Bronc and 1077thebronc.com, winner of 3 2026 Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Awards. Best on-air pledge drive for our first ever radiothon, best giveaway for Wake Up Riders Morning Bagel Run and Jewelry Spree, and best station poster by Jake Goebel for Scream Screen. This is the Tri-State Sports Ramble. I am your host, John Coro. Thank you for tuning in today. We have another guest on our show. Once again, you've probably heard him a few times already, Joshua Uhas. What's up, Josh?
Hello.
Hello,
everyone.
We are back once again to talk just some more sports in the Tri-State area, and we'll hop right into it. But before we do so, let me fix that up real quick. There we go. Before we do so, we have to give a huge shout out to everybody who came to the ceremony of merit earlier today in the BLC, watching us win awards. As you probably saw if you were there, I won Freshman Broadcaster of the Year. Josh won Junior Journalist of the Year. So congratulations to both of us, and thank you to everybody who came, and congratulations to everybody who won an award that day.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there was a lot of awards, and I mean, obviously, the station, like, it's the departments of the station and the news, but it was fun seeing everyone get their names announced and go up. That was all just a really fun award show to be at.
Oh yeah, it was definitely great. But with that being said, we're going to dive right into it. Recently, the 76ers winning a huge play-in game against the Orlando Magic Wednesday to officially punch their ticket to the playoffs. 109-97 was the final score. And Tyrese Maxey, I read at the headline, Tyrese Maxey getting a 31-point night. You just knew that he'd be in the middle of the game, though. I mean, the way he's carried this 76ers team, even when they were at their lowest, I think it's pretty good.
Even without Embiid,
and without him. Maxey's really stepped up. And how about Andre Drummond? He was productive as well, filling in for Embiid. And really, this Sixers team, it's looking strong, and they're getting strong at the right time, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, winning that game is so huge because they would be playing right now, right this second, against the Charlotte Hornets. But because they won that game, they're advanced in. They'll settle into that 7 seed and be prepping for a playoff game instead of wasting another game, especially with the fact that we talk a lot about the health of this team and the health of Embiid. The fact that they don't have to play that extra game is only going to help them more if they want to be competitive in the playoff bracket.
Yeah, 100%. And that's ultimately the case in mind, because the 76ers, they're a very odd team to me because they're so inconsistent, but when it comes to pulling off victories, I mean, a couple weeks ago, they got a big one against Charlotte. Speaking of Charlotte, they're currently facing off against the Magic right now. They're in a battle for the number 8 seed. The winner will play Detroit. I have not looked up the score yet, but let's give this baby a look. Magic versus the Hornets, and it looks like the Magic
Yikes.
lead 34-15. Calm your. Let's
It is
calm
one
it down.
quarter,
It's one
but like
first
that
quarter.
is still not good. 36-15 is not exactly the start that they wanted.
Yeah, Hornets are in jeopardy, but
They had a crazy game, their first playing game, though.
Yeah, no, that was
The ending of that game was amazing.
that was a fun game. No, without a doubt, that was. But like I said, winner will play Detroit in the playoffs. As for the 76ers, they punched their ticket. They're the 7th seed, so now they'll play the Boston Celtics in the first round. Game 1 is Sunday at 1 p.m. Of course, it's going to be at Boston. Should be a fun one. Should be a fun round one. I personally think just for prediction's sake, I think the Celtics will take it. But Josh, what are your thoughts about that series?
Well, I am going to be a bit biased in how I'm thinking here, like to preface, because I am a Knicks fan.
Okay.
So I want the 76ers, if they're going to lose, to take the Celtics as far as possible in the series. And even on the other end, I just hope this series goes long so whoever wins
Just gets the job
is
done.
kind of hurt. It's not hurt, but like kind of trying to fight through and get to that Knicks game. If the Knicks win, I can't speak ahead because especially with the Knicks facing the Hawks, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Like that matchup is no guarantee of a first round, especially for the Knicks' history against the Hawks.
Yeah.
But like I think that series should be really interesting and really fun to follow because obviously in division matchup, 76ers and Celtics. We see the matchup countless times throughout the season. And the 76ers, as we talked about, not the most consistent team, but a pretty solid team, especially if you have your pieces working, like a Tyrese Maxey carrying, like a Paul George having a resurgence and helping them out.
Yeah.
And then whatever you can get from Embiid when he's in is really helpful. And then the Celtics, it's crazy what they did without Tatum. They were still really good, still top of the East, and then they get Tatum back, and they're still in like that same area where they're fighting at the top. Which also his recovery to get back this time is crazy. And the Celtics once again will be fighting as probably I would say the kind of almost pseudo favorite of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I heard a noise in the background. I don't know what that was. But yeah, no, 100%. And I gotta tell you, Paul George had a great resurgence of a season, and I thought he was cooked after his 25 game suspension, but he's come back and he's come back with a vengeance. Really good to see him. All right, now moving on to the Knicks playoff preview. Just to wrap up their regular season, they were already clinched at this point, but their final 2 games, they won 112-95 against Toronto Friday and 110-96 against Charlotte on Sunday. So now their series starts tomorrow. Game 1 at 6 p.m. home against the Hawks. Josh, you just mentioned you're a Knicks fan, so this game obviously very important for you. I'm gonna say it out loud. This may be a series that you see go to 7 games. I am so excited to watch this. Like you got a Hawks team that just never is so resilient, probably one of the more resilient teams in the NBA. And then of course you got the powerhouse New York Knicks. If you're a Knicks fan, you're hoping that they keep that consistent play and they don't crumble to teams that they easily should have beaten.
Yeah, and I don't want to disrespect the Hawks because they are. I want to give respect to that they're a pretty solid team. Like they're not some walkover, and especially when you consider the factor of the matchups and like the heated rivalries between the Knicks and the Hawks, especially when Trae Young was there.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is Trae Young is not there. He's with the Wizards, but still that kind of animosity between teams still doesn't go away. It's not like the Knicks were going against and hating on one or having a rivalry with just Trae Young. Trae Young was obviously a major factor of it.
Yeah.
But the Knicks and Hawks still in the last couple of years have had these close matchups with each other. I mean, even this season we've seen they've played very tightly against each other, and I think it's going to be a tough series for the Knicks. Obviously the Knicks are favored, but it's not going to be easy. But I think if the Knicks can get to playing their game and use Brunson, use Cat in that kind of pick and roll that they've really figured out over the last half of the season, because it's completely changed how their offense looks, and it gives them a new avenue to look to. Because when you look at the last couple years in the time that Brunson and Cat have been together, it just hasn't seemed to gel just how you want it.
Yeah, like it's still, you're still looking for that big spark in a way. The talent's there. I mean, this is the time to get it done if you're the Knicks. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're not overplaying themselves. This is a legit New York Knicks team, and really last year's playoffs exposed it. And, hopefully they'll get the win. I would really love to see either way. For all the series, and we're going to be talking about every series, both NBA and NHL. For all the series, winning game one is crucial, no doubt about it. So with that being said, we're moving on to just out of our tri-state area, Toronto Raptors against Cleveland, game one tomorrow at 1 p.m. I was always shocked with how well Cleveland was playing this year, and they get a home game. What do you think about this? I honestly think that the Magic's going to run out for the Raptors. I think Cleveland is a more rounded team. They may get the win on this.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think the Cavs are just too strong of a team. And now, granted, when you're looking at these series, you can't just assume the higher end team is going to beat them. There are going to be upsets, and there is going to be some craze. But I think this series is going to go as straightforward as you can think. The Cavs are going to really take control of it. And I think the Cavs would advance between those two. And I think in game one, they'll really preface that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, and Cleveland's a basketball team I didn't necessarily pay too much attention to, but in the games that we've watched, like just in terms of the other day, not the other day, but just some time ago when they played the New York Knicks, the Knicks were getting dominated, no doubt, but the Cavs were clicking on all cylinders, and you're seeing Harden kind of resurge himself a little bit, and I think Cleveland's, like I said, a more rounded team. Next up, this is more, if this was hockey, this would be more of a hockey city rivalry, but it's not. Minnesota Timberwolves against the Denver Nuggets. They play their first game tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. I mean,
high profile game.
Yeah, high profile at its highest. I mean, the amount of, I don't really have a good gauge on just in general, because both teams have taken a completely different approach compared to how they played in the past couple of years. Minnesota versus Denver. I really don't know who takes it, honestly. I'm gonna have to go with Denver just for the sake that it is a home atmosphere, and you've seen the Avalanche's home atmosphere. They're playing in the same arena anyway. The Denver fans will bring it, and so I think with that, it'll probably go a long distance, the series, possibly to 7. But I think the Nuggets will take the series on this one.
Yeah, I feel fairly confident. I mean, it is a 3-6 matchup, but I'd say it's a really tight 3-6 matchup because the Timberwolves have been a strong team in the past. They're not exactly in the position they want to be by being a 6 seed, but I think this one could be a kind of tighter series than it may seem, even though the Timberwolves aren't exactly what they've been in the past when these teams have matched up against each other or in just past playoffs. But I think the Timberwolves, low-key, I'm going to go Timberwolves get an upset in this series.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I think if they get hot, they have good pieces across their team. I think they could find a way to take down the Nuggets. Now, obviously, you're going to have to find a way to not stop Jokic. Sure. Because you're never going to stop Jokic, but slow him down. That's really the approach with any star is you're not going to stop them, or there's like a 95% chance that he will be not stopped, but like slowed down, and there's like a 5% chance that you could stop him completely. But I think Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves pull that one out.
Yeah, I'd say so too. And honestly, just kind of looking at it, if you don't mind me, I'm just kind of adjusted. There we go. I was trying to look for that because my visual identity, the two logos weren't quite fading in. There we go. Now it's a lot more brighter for the viewers. But yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely going to be the series that could go either way, point blank. And now we got 2 more confirmed matchups for the time being. Rockets against LA, game 1 tomorrow at 8:30. When I say LA, I mean the Lakers because it's too many LA teams. I know the game's at LA. I think the Rockets take this one all the way. I mean, Kevin Durant, you have the Rockets are just a more put together team. The Lakers, I feel like the Lakers just have too many holes. And LeBron James is only going to get older. I mean, it's been like this for a few years now.
Yeah, and the problem is it's now when you look at LeBron, he's not the exact player he's been before, where he is leading the way 100%. I think it's going to be more complicated for him to have that success. And even though they are the home in the series because they are the 4 versus the 5. And I think the fun thing looking at this is it's essentially LeBron versus KD.
Yeah.
So like that's going to be a fun dynamic because we've seen LeBron and KD go at it in these high profile playoff games. And now we're getting it in the first round. But I think a dynamic for the Rockets is that they had lost Steven Adams in part of the season. And I've always been a big fan of Steven Adams.
Sure.
I don't know why that is. Maybe because in NBA 2K, you'd get like the rebuilds and Steven Adams was always like the go-to expansion pick. It's like
that was the guy
in those
right
like
there.
expansion drafts when you added a team. But like he was a big part of the rebounding of the Rockets. And then they had to pivot. They've done a good job across the season to stay in that middle part of the Western Conference. But I think I like the Lakers. I think I'm talking myself into it.
Okay.
I think the Lakers can take it.
Yeah, it's a valid argument. I mean, like, we'll see what happens. I mean, I like how we're getting both sides of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're just
You know what? Delusional take.
No, absolutely.
Bronny James, 30-point game, obviously game 1. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Bronny James take over.
father-son duo at
But
its
that's an
finest.
interesting storyline.
Oh yeah, no,
I mean, it's not going to really most likely be a big thing on the game side.
sure.
Like, it's not going to be the biggest talking point in that regard. Like, Bronny will probably get a couple, like, get 10 minutes probably.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes of work. Although they have been working him in the rotation a little bit more over the last couple games. But I think that'll be an interesting, at least storyline, because it's one of the few storylines in this playoffs first round.
And there's a lot of them. And then so, real quick, Trailblazers against San Antonio. I think game one Sunday rather at 9 p.m. I think this is kind of a no-brainer. I think I got San Antonio winning
It's Spurs by a mile. That was just easy pick.
Don't really need too much of a discussion for that.
Shout out Rutgers, Dylan Harper.
Hey man, that's
Also
what's up.
Celtics, Ron Harper Jr.
Hey, no.
Also Rutgers.
Listen, the Rutgers shout-outs. Listen, we're Rider University, but you got to give a shout-out to Rutgers, too. RU, the battle of RUs, as we say. But real quickly, just looking at some storylines, a couple of more play-in games going on. Warriors are taking on the Suns later tonight at 10, and the winner of that goes to OKC for the first round.
Boy.
And the game 1 will be Sunday at 3:30. That'll be interesting to see. I may stay up and late at night. We already updated you on the Magic versus Hornets game right now, and as I said, the winner moves on to Detroit. Let's update it now. Okay, looks like the Magic
23-point lead for the Magic.
Woo-wee. Wow.
At least the Hornets had that good playing game against the Heat and had that crazy moments, but like unfortunately the story seems their story seems to end here.
It appears so, and it really does. Before we hop into underwriting announcements, we'll talk real quick about the NHL Round 1 games. We'll continue it when we come back.
Yeah.
But first one, Ottawa against Carolina. Game 1 tomorrow at 3 p.m. I think, again, this is kind of a no. I know Ottawa kind of has a Cinderella story with Tim Stützle and, like, really Drake Batherson, a lot of the young prospects.
And then Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, Brady Tkachuk as well.
They have good pieces there, but it's like it hasn't been complete. And Carolina's just an absolute freight train in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. And look, I'm an Islanders fan. You're a Devils fan, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
right? Listen, we know as much as anybody else, Carolina absolutely owns both of us in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So we would know better than anybody.
Carolina is as good in the first rounds of the playoffs as there ever has been a team.
Oh, yeah,
especially
absolutely.
against the New York and New Jersey teams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I would love to talk about it more, but unfortunately, we're going to go and take a quick commercial break. The recipes have all been submitted for 107.7 The Bronx first ever Build the Ultimate Bronkwich contest. The culinary team at Ryder Dining Services has evaluated each recipe in their test kitchen and have chosen this semester's Magnificent 7. Go to 1077thebronx.com/build the Bronkwich recipes to see which Bronkwich made it into our lunch bag. Then go to our Then go to our Instagram at 1077thebronx.com to watch, like, and comment on all 7 IG Reels. The 3 student Reels with the most views will make it to the Tasty 3 and Build the Ultimate Bronquage finale on Tuesday, April 28th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. inside Cranberries and at Muller's Pub. We'll be back with more of the Tri-State Sports Ramble after these underwriting announcements on your 3-time 2026 Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Award winner, 1077 The Bronx.
Do you wake up and feel like your mornings are just missing something? Certainly nothing worse than your coffee just not hitting the same. But there has to be something, right?
Yeah, baby! Yeah, there is! Weekdays, you won't even need coffee. You'll be running on life's purest energy, all thanks to the crew at Wake Up Rider. Your favorite IBS award-winning college morning show is on every Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Not convinced? Let me help you out. You like music? Obviously you do. Bam! You like games? Of course you do. You like fun people? Duh. If you answered no to any of these questions, what are you, the fun police? And they have plenty more to offer. Wake Up Rider brings you season 9 of their usual antics, and what better way to start your morning than joining them? Unfortunately, spring break has come to an end, but if you need to keep yourself occupied, go to 1077thebronx.com and listen to all of their former episodes to give your days that pizzazz. And I'll cut you a deal. I won't even judge you if it's not morning when you listen. Just make sure you're listening to Wake Up Rider on 1077 The Bronx the second that clock strikes 8 a.m. on weekdays. So set your alarm.
Mental Fitness on 1077 The Bronx is underwritten in part by LADA, the Lawrence Alcohol and Drug Alliance. Help your local community thrive drug and alcohol free with LADA, a nonprofit organization designed to educate, aid, and bring awareness to prevent the use of dangerous substances. Whether it's your children, a friend, a loved one, or a neighbor, LADA has qualified leaders to help anyone and everyone feel like themselves. LADA's mission provides you and all of your community members with the necessary resources, training, and education through a variety of programs to prevent the misuse of drugs and alcohol in the town we proudly call home. The Lawrenceville Drug and Alcohol Alliance also provides peer leadership groups for both Lawrence High School and Rider University students, and hosts community events for area residents to enjoy and learn more about the negative impacts drugs and alcohol can have on you and your well-being. For more information on how you can get involved, LADA's mission statement, their many resources, and a calendar of events and meetings, visit lawrencetwp.com/Alcohol Drug Alliance.
1077 The Bronx campus traditions are underwritten in part by Sky Zone, 17 Quaker Bridge Plaza Drive in Hamilton. Take fun to a whole new level and reach new heights at Sky Zone, Hamilton's ultimate hub for adventure. You've worked hard enough already this semester, so ditch the endless assignments and head to Sky Zone to treat yourself. Take a day off and jump, slide, or fly to your heart's content with friends and family. Bring the speed on Sky Zone's Ninja Warrior style obstacle courses, test your persistence climbing up rock walls, and challenge your competition at Sky Zone's ultimate dodgeball tournaments and air court games. Haven't had enough fun yet? Then zip through the air on Sky Zone's all-new indoor zip line and launch into the sky with their 2 new mega slides. Turn a stressful work-filled day and defy gravity by soaring the skies. Whether it's a birthday party, team event, or a one-day ticket to defy the limits, the fun starts on their website at skyzone.com/Hamilton. That's skyzone.com/Hamilton.
The Bronx Lunchbox on 1077 The Bronx and other programming on 1077 The Bronx Retro is underwritten by Osteria Procaccini in Pennington and Crosswicks. Osteria Procaccini takes your taste buds on a roller coaster. Step inside Osteria Procaccini to experience a loving and sustainable restaurant. Try their refreshing, jam-packed, flavorful salads, or take a nice long look at their artisan pizza menu. Each artisan pizza is made with vegan dough and is paired with a crust that is charred to perfection to replicate a true and authentic crunch. Osteria is more than artisan pizzas. It's an exceptional dining experience. Their fire-roasted entrees are to die for, roasted in a 900-degree Pompeii-style terracotta brick hearth. Choose from a classic chicken parmesan, an Osteria burger, eggplant parmesan, and more. Outside of their grand assortment of lunch and dinner options, Osteria Procaccini offers a coffee bar. Grab an Americano, a latte, espresso, or any of their other coffee options after dinner. Visit one of their 2 locations in Pennington and Crosswicks, or see what they have in store for your palate online at getforky.com.
We are once again back with the Tri-State Sports Ramble. I'm getting the promo. Here we go. 1077 The Bronx has very exciting news. Our new video stream is officially live. Now you can listen to The Bronx on air, online, and on app. Now, Watch your favorite student shows live on the Bronx YouTube channel and Facebook at 1077 The Bronx, including What's Next Sports, Talk of the Town Sports, Bronx After Hours, The Concast, Cliff Notes, and Wake Up Rider. Keep it tuned in to the Bronx to listen to and watch your favorite student shows. Welcome back to the Tri-State Sports Ramble on your 5-time National Association of Broadcasters Marconi Radio Award nominated station, 1077 The Bronx. Once again, I am your host, John Coro, joined alongside Joshua Uhas. Yep. And Josh, before we continue on with our discussion, we came across a very sad stat over the weekend.
Unfortunately,
the New York Islanders, this is the first time in NHL history that the Islanders, Rangers, and Devils have all been eliminated from the playoffs. This is a very sad day for my show, the Tri-State Sports Ramble.
Not a very good day for Tri-State Sports Ramble, except for Philly.
Yes, the Flyers.
Philly, the Flyers got into the playoffs, and that at least one of the 4 teams got in, but like...
yeah, that was...
unfortunately, not my Devils, not your Islanders, not any of them.
Not it. And, we'll talk about that real quick, but how about the Flyers clinching with the win, with a shootout win against Carolina on Monday? First playoff berth since 2020, and Tyson Forster with the shootout winner. That was a pretty fun game, especially since I went to the Phillies game. So you saw the Xfinity Mobile Arena emptying out. You saw people watching the Flyers game on their phone as leaving the ballpark. It was a pretty cool scene. But now we'll head into the actual games. Game 1. We got a Battle of Pennsylvania, everybody. They're at Pittsburgh tomorrow at 8 p.m. Should be a fun one here.
Should be a really good series.
Yeah, this will be fun.
And there's a lot of fun pieces on each side. I mean, obviously the Flyers, who have added Zegras to help Michkov out there. Mm-hmm. And then just the ability to fight at the end of the season. Like, if the Flyers are able to carry that into the Stanley Cup playoffs, like, they could be a fun team. They could be like that team that where they get hot at the end of the season, it carries into the playoffs, and then especially because it's in like a area like regionally close, like a lot of the people in our area at the university are Philly fans.
Yeah, and it's only naturally it's because we're only 45 minutes to an hour away from Philly, so you feel the vibes on campus all right. I mean, even with Eagles games, forget it. I mean, like it's crazy the vibes that are on campus with that. But it should be a really fun game. It's actually a rematch, if you remember, from 2018. And so I will say, as much as I don't like Crosby, it is cool to see him, Chris Letang, and Evgeny Malkin all back. That trio that was through it all.
That nostalgic trio.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you see them one more time.
Mm-hmm. They won back-to-back, 16-17. Now... let's go at it one more time. Now, back outside of our Tri-State Sports Ramble, I wish we could talk about more, but as mentioned, the other teams are eliminated. We'll talk. Now we got the Minnesota Wild against the Dallas Stars. This is actually a first-round rematch from 2023. Their first game is tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. What do you think? I'm thinking, actually, before that, the Flyers-Penguins, who do you think takes it? I'm going with Pittsburgh, personally, because they got more firepower, but I don't know. The Flyers could be coming fresh off of that clincher.
That's the dynamic that can always be tricky, is understanding, or is trying to understand, like, when a team gets hot at the end of the season, like, just narrowly makes their way in, is that going to carry into the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like, we've seen teams in other sports where they get into that wild card spot, and then they're able to get really hot because they were hot at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at 2023, I believe it was 2023, I might be getting the years wrong, but the Diamondbacks, when they made their run all the way to the World Series, granted they didn't end up winning, but they ended up getting hot at the right time, and the Flyers are carrying momentum in, but we've seen teams where they build up momentum into the playoffs, and then you get to the playoffs and they fall flat.
Yeah, no,
it's an almost impossible thing to predict. I think in the same lines that you were saying with the Penguins, I just think they're strong enough to get through that first round.
No, I was giving a thumbs up to the camera. I've heard people say that I wasn't ignoring you. I'm giving a thumb up to the camera because I've heard people criticize, like, hey, the mic's blocking you sometimes. So I'm showing it nice and clear. Here we go. We got a nice line of vision here. But no, to your point, you got a team that's red hot, and you don't know what could happen. I think Pittsburgh will take it. Do you have a prediction on it? Like, do you think the Penguins take it, or do you think the Flyers will make a run at it?
I think the Penguins win the series.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it could be like the Flyers give some challenge, maybe like a 6-game series, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
Like a really tight series. Like I could feel that happening. I could also feel it being like a 5-game series as well.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'd say so. They'll give them a run for their money, no doubt. I think. All right, next up. Now we were talking about Wild vs. Stars first round rematch. I will take this by myself real quick. Josh has to step out, but game 1 is at 5:30 p.m. What a game. I mean, we got ourselves a good one here. Just for my predictions, I'll update Josh on it real quick. There he is. He's back. But with this game, while I get situated, I think the Stars are going to take it for 2 reasons. First reason, the Stars are just a powerhouse of a team. This is as good as we've seen the Dallas Stars in quite some time. And second of all, there's nothing more traditional than to see the Minnesota Wild lose in the first round. There's such a first round knockout team. So I think Dallas takes this one easily.
Yeah, I can understand that, especially because Dallas's ability to get to the conference finals. Now, granted, the storyline with them is that they just haven't been able to get past that hump. Mm-hmm. But I think in this matchup, it's going to be really tough that's a really tough first round matchup to get. Because the Minnesota Wild, obviously, they have some strong pieces that they've picked up, and especially adding Quinn Hughes at the deadline, that's a major addition to that D pairing. And we saw in the Olympics what having Quinn Hughes can really change, because we saw the Team USA team in the 4 Nations, and the defense was really good. Don't get me wrong. Slavin was playing really good. Werenski was playing really good, and just the whole defense group. And then you go to the Olympics, and Quinn Hughes really is able to turn the defense into offense with his speed. We saw across the Olympics he was able to get assists and really help them out. And I think now with the Wild, just only a couple months off of the Olympics, a chance to help the Wild now compete. And I think the Wild can do it. I think the Wild can break that streak where their first round exits.
All right.
And I think they'll take it on the Stars.
Hey, I like the confidence in your pick. Hey, let's see it. I would love to see it. Carill's having a career year as always, so hey, it could very well be. Game 1 is tomorrow, by the way, at 5:30 p.m. Now we got the Kings and the Avalanche. Game 1 Sunday at 3 p.m. Now, before I say anything, good news for the Kings. They don't have a first-round matchup with Edmonton.
Yeah,
the bad news
that's the biggest thing. The problem is they didn't get Edmonton, but they got Colorado.
Oh boy, which is arguably better than Edmonton. I don't see an upset here. I think the Avalanche are going to take it.
Yeah, I think it will be played tightly because the Kings across the last postseasons have been strong. They fight very hard.
Yeah,
and adding Panarin is definitely something that's going to play into the dynamic of this series. But that's just a brutal first round matchup. It's just a brutal one, and I think Colorado takes it.
That's so unfair. And even if the Kings do win, they probably will have to play Edmonton, and who knows what happens from there. This is an interesting matchup coming up. Montreal against Tampa Bay. Going into, game 1 Sunday at 5:45 p.m. There's actually a Stanley Cup rematch from 2021 because remember, they had that whole COVID division. It was just Canadian teams. It was just a really weird mix.
And Canada still has not won the Cup.
Nope, they have still not won it. But this game will be very personal. I know Tampa Bay has home ice advantage. I think Montreal takes it because Cole Caulfield, man, what a season he's been having.
Really
I think he'll
good
carry
season.
It up. Yeah.
And that's really changed what the Canadians have been able to do. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have a reasoning why. I just have a gut feeling the Lightning take it.
Man, we seem to be disagreeing on a lot of picks right now.
We seem to be disagreeing quite a bit right now.
Oh, boy. Well, hopefully, maybe these next 3 will get it. Bruins, maybe these next 3 we'll try to agree on. Boston will take on Buffalo. Game 1 Sunday at 7:30 p.m. This is a Atlantic Division. Sabres are finally back in the playoffs.
And, I mean, what a run they had.
Yeah, and I think with this one, I think Buffalo takes it. I don't care that they've had lack of experience. They're just they're too good of a team. They're not a team that limped into the wild card spot. They're playing a Bruins team that's young.
They surged to the lead of that division.
Oh, yeah. No, I think the Sabres take it.
I am going to agree with you.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Sabres because I think what they've done, the resume they've built up in that second half, they've really been hot. They've been consistently hot. It's not like they had like a deep hot streak and then went cold and then got hot again and cold. Like, they've been pretty consistent. I mean, obviously, that's how they went from where they were beforehand to jumping up to the top of the division.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll be able to take it on the Bruins, and I think they could definitely jump on Boston early.
Yeah.
And if they jump on them early, I think Buffalo will be hot enough and be good enough to win that round.
Yeah, I'd say so. And Buffalo fans were getting so used to seeing them come out and play great hockey October and November and then fall apart. So
I mean, you have like the last couple of seasons, like you have Tage Thompson, you have Dahlin, and then you're just constantly going where it's like, we're not making the playoffs. All right, next year. I mean, now they finally get that off their back. They don't have the longest playoff drought. And they pass it to my New York Jets. But
that's another thing. Yes,
that's a whole different story. And I could go on forever.
We'll be here forever.
But the Buffalo Sabres, I mean, to be able to break that streak alone is big. The fact that they'll get it as a home series because they are the higher, like getting that higher seed, winning that division. Like, Buffalo is gonna get some home playoff hockey. Like, that's a dream for Buffalo, and I think that energy is going to also play into it, because I think if they were playing an away series, this is completely different.
Oh yeah, and that's, we didn't even touch base on that. Yeah, home ice. That's the big one right there. And finally, these Buffalo fans, so cool to see Buffalo really trying to get back into the hockey. All right, two more. And before we move on to the MLB, hopefully we have some time to touch on it before we dive into our final commercial break. Utah against Vegas, Game 1 Sunday at 10 p.m. I don't know why it's at 10 p.m. I get it because it's on the West Coast, but I wish it was earlier. First time ever that Utah is in the playoffs. I feel like the Mammoth are a team that they play a little too sloppy, in my opinion. They're a very bad turnover team. I think Vegas will take it as a result, especially that it's at T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah. And this is probably the most interesting because you have Torts with Vegas now.
Yes.
And then Utah, obviously, formerly Arizona. Mm-hmm. And then now this is the first time since going to Utah. I mean, granted, it is you carry over the same roster and the same players, but like that's still a different dynamic. You switch a whole home. You switch the routines of your players, especially for someone like a Clayton Keller, who was the star when they were in Arizona, and then having to switch his routine to playing in Utah consistently. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a big shift. The first time Utah is going to have a chance in the playoffs. Now, granted, I don't think they're going to travel well. Yeah. Like, I don't think their fans are going to travel to Vegas very strongly compared to other fans where they have a storied history and everything, and they'll travel fine. But I think that'll be an interesting series just because it's, for Utah, the first time in the playoffs as Utah. And then for Vegas, having Torts as your coach as like the first time with Vegas that he's getting his chance. So I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think because Utah, I don't think is going to play as strongly. And then Torts obviously is a veteran of the game. He can jump in and help this Vegas team. I think Vegas takes round one.
I think so too. And real quick before we move on to the MLB, Ducks against the Oilers. Game 1 Monday at 10 p.m. There's actually a rematch from 2017, their second round. I remember how much of a golden era that was with Brian Getzlaf, Silverberg, Henrique. That was a golden era of hockey. Ducks at Edmonton, though. Here's the thing. Anaheim's a very strong team this year, but I feel like this is where the lack of playoff experience comes in because you're at Edmonton.
Edmonton has been playing in the Stanley Cup Finals the last couple years.
Yeah, I think they take I think, unfortunately, it's a great season for the Ducks, but I think the Oilers take it.
The Oilers have just been too good, too consistently at making the Stanley Cup Final, making these deep runs with their big core. I mean, obviously, you have McDavid, and like you just keep running that core, and it's just there's nothing you can really do to stop them in the early rounds. Now, once it gets later, the teams have done really good jobs of limiting them.
Sure.
But in the early rounds, the Oilers, the only thing that could stop them is the goalie situation, because that's still the case with them, is they have not been able to find that consistent, trustable goalie.
Yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, that's why I think, so you say you're set on Edmonton winning?
Yeah, I'm set on Edmonton winning just because it's too storied of a history. And it's still the same core of guys. It's not like people fell out of their primes. Like McDavid is still in his prime, and all their core pieces are in their prime.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right, so that's all our predictions with the NBA, NHL. Now time to move on to the MLB. The Yankees took on the Angels yesterday.
What a
They
series.
lost 11-4. What a series. This is why I am so glad. I know this was against our team, but Mike Trout homering 5 runs in the series. I'm telling you, we don't see the full potential of Trout just because he's injured. And all these kids are saying, oh, Trout's washed. No, when he is healthy, he is arguably the best player in the league. I mean, and this was a full display right here.
100%. And it was the most fun part is, I think it was game 2 of the series, when Judge and Trout both hit 2 homers.
Oh, yes.
And the order it went, because it was, I think it was Judge hit his homer first, and then Trout, and then Judge, then Trout.
Yes, correct. And then Grisham tied it in the 9th.
Yes. And Grisham had a 2 home run game in that as well, but that gets overshadowed by I think it was 9 RBIs in the series from Trout.
Wow.
Like 5 home runs, 9 RBIs, and just like incredible. And Judge had 4 home runs in that series.
Yeah, no, it was
like see 2 stars, especially for Trout, because we talk about it all the time. I mean, he gets hurt and it sucks every time because he's getting hit by pitches so many times.
Yeah.
Because the way to stop Trout is to pitch up and inside. And then when they miss, it hits him in the hand, he gets hurt, you go on the IL. But the fact that he's also back to playing like strictly center field, because before Kurt Suzuki took over as manager,
sure,
they were putting Trout at DH. They were putting him in positions that he's not really used to. And like playing DH, just kind of your body's not as primed and as active. And I think Trout needed to be more active, which is kind of the opposite you'd think of avoiding injuries.
Yeah.
Is to be more active. But I think for Trout, he actually needs to be in center.
Yes.
Because he needs to keep it active and everything. And we've seen he's been playing center, and obviously he's never going to be the speed he was in his prime or the fielding he was in his prime when Kevin Kiermaier was stealing gold gloves from him. But it's just a beautiful sight when Mike Trout is raking. And even as a Yankees fan, even though it wasn't good, it kind of warmed my heart to see Mike Trout was back to being Mike Trout.
Yeah, and that was the hitting 5 home runs in the series against the Yankees. That's the 4th player to ever do that. You go back, and this one's for all my oldies listening right now. George Bell in 1990 was the last person to do that. And, the former Yankee Oswald Peraza going yard, that sucked to see. But Judge and Stanton did provide the answer with long balls of their own. The nail in the coffin, though, came in the 8th. Joe Adell with the grand slam. You look at some of the past games for the Yankees real quick before we go into commercial. They lost 5-4 in 10 innings at Tampa Bay and lost 5-4 at Tampa Sunday. We were in the studio at Nolan's show minutes after Jazz Chisholm made the error.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
And the bullpen for the Yankees has been not the greatest.
No, it is not. I mean, this is a perfect example. I mean, it was a heck of a game Monday when they won 11-10, but still unacceptable on the bullpen's part. Lost 7-1 Tuesday, won 5-4 on a walk-off. Caballero with the electric walk-off hit. We'll take a look at what the Yankees are doing right now before we head to commercial. Don't mean to rush it. They're up 2-1. 6th inning just ended.
Yeah, and Ben Rice hit a 2-run homer in the 4th.
Yeah,
and he's been one of the best hitters to start this season, which does not surprise me.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, he's really playing up to his full potential. We'll dive into more about the MLB. I wish we could talk about that more, but we have to go to our final commercial break for the time being. With over 750,000 views in the last 90 days, our social media is popping. Be a part of the trend. Follow 1077 The Bronx to see what we're up to on air and behind the scenes on Instagram at 1077 The Bronx and on TikTok at 1077 The Bronx WRRC. After you follow The Bronx on social media, sport The Bronx on sport The Bronx on and off campus. Gear up for summer by shopping the Bronx General Store. From short sleeve tees and polos to insulated drinkware for your Axie refresher, go to 1077thebronx.com/shop the Bronx to make sure your campus fashion statement. We'll be back with more to make your campus fashion statement. These promos, man. We'll be back with more of the Tri-State Sports Ramble after these underrated announcements. While you're waiting for the return, don't forget to like and follow The Bronx on Instagram at 1077 The Bronx and on TikTok at 1077 The Bronx WRRC.
and Prometheus was punished for stealing fire from the gods. Epimetheus unleashed misery upon humanity, but a third titan, often forgotten to time, Bronchometheus, had a better idea. He stole something different. Ingredients. To the studios of 1077 The Bronx, he brought ingredients and said,
Go, create the ultimate Bronchos, one that hath ne'er been conceived of by the human mind. Create Rider University's new signature sandwich.
And that's precisely what the mere humans did. The gods looked down, not with anger, but with awe. From the masses, they chose the Magnificent Seven, tasking them to showcase their creations on Instagram at 1077 The Bronx. To weigh the scale, the gods decided that the only way to narrow down the best of the best, they would choose the 3 entries with the most views on Instagram and be left with the tasty 3. And on April 28th, from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Cranberry's dining facilities, the campus decides the ultimate victor. On top of eternal glory, they would be rewarded with a Royal Caribbean cruise for 2 to the Bahamas, the Yo Cuz food truck at their next on-campus event, and their sandwich served at Muller's Pub and on the Yo Cuz truck. And for those requiring more information, the gods delivered 1077thebronx.com/buildupbronkwich to give you the gift of knowledge.
Wonder where 1077 The Bronx can take you? On Alumni in Action, Owen McCarron and Owen Nelson sit down with Rider graduates who've turned their college experience into something bigger. Leaders in media, content creators, industry changemakers. We talk about the moments at 1077 The Bronx that shaped them, the risks they took in their careers, and what they learned back then that made them the media professionals they are today. These are honest, inspiring conversations with people who once spoke in the same mics you do today. From Cranberries to Kroner, Rider Rock to the commencement stage, there's a new episode the first Sunday of every month with encore episodes weekly at 8 a.m. Or watch the videos on our website at 1077thebronx.com/alumni-in-action. Tune in to hear how Rider alumni are making their mark with new episodes every Sunday at 8 a.m. One story at a time. This is Alumni in Action.
Programming on 1077 The Bronx and 1077 The Bronx Retro is underwritten in part by Jelly's Last Jam, now through April 26th at Bristol Riverside Theater. Step into the electrifying world of jazz legend Jelly Roll Morton in Jelly's Last Jam. This Tony Award-winning musical, now playing at Bristol Riverside Theater, takes you on a thrilling journey through the life, music, and complex legacy of the self-proclaimed inventor of jazz. Told through dazzling choreography, powerful storytelling, and Morton's iconic music, Jelly's Last Jam explores his meteoric rise, struggle with identity, and the cultural impact of his groundbreaking sound. As Jelly reflects on his past from the afterlife, he must confront the truths he tried to outrun. You can see Jelly's Last Jam now through April 26th at Bristol Riverside Theater. For tickets and information about the show and upcoming productions, events, and programs at Bristol Riverside Theater, it's brtstage.org. That's brtstage.org.
This past October, our 1077 The Bronx exec staff got glammed up and took a trip to the Edison Ballroom in New York City for one of radio's biggest nights, the National Association of Broadcasters Marconi Radio Awards. Because once again, we were nominated for College Radio Station of the Year. 1077 The Bronx has been nominated 5 times in the past 6 years for the most prestigious award in college radio. And this year, in 2025, we proudly represented Rider University on the national stage once again. Sure, we didn't take home the trophy this time. Whoa, calm down. Being recognized among the best college stations in the country? That's a win in our book. From our amazing student broadcasters to our incredible listeners, we couldn't have done it without you. So here's to more shows, more memories, and maybe that Marconi next year.
The Bronx Lunchbox on 1077 The Bronx and other programming on 1077 The Bronx Retro is underwritten by PJ's Pancake House. The love for breakfast is growing, and so is PJ's Pancake House. Now with 6 locations and counting, PJ's offers the finest assortment of breakfast foods, such as, well, pancakes, topped with any topping your heart desires. Also, platters of fluffy eggs, delectable French toast, savory omelets, and other breakfast platters. PJ's is the perfect way to jumpstart your day. Beat the rooster and head on over to PJ's for a warm breakfast.
You do realize they serve more than just breakfast, right?
Wait, they do?
Yes they do.
PJ's also has a great deal of lunch and brunch options available 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. From cheeseburgers and sandwiches to salads, pastas, and so much more. Whether you go to PJ's to start your day or to end it, this Pancake House delivers great food with impeccable presentation for an unforgettable breakfast, lunch, or brunch experience. For menu options online and to learn more about their many locations, with a few more on the way, it's pancakes.com. Yep, you heard that right, pancakes.com.
Mornings are always better when you tune in to 107.7 The Bronx, two-time IBS Media Award-winning Best Morning Show, Wake Up Rider, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Join Sophia, RJ, Ellis, Brian, Lathan, Brandon, and Sheer for 2 hours of fun and games, including the Monday Morning Hangover, underwritten by McGuinn's Place, and the all-new Morning Bagel Run and Jewelry Spree, underwritten by Caesar's Bagel and Deli and Peroni's Hidden Treasures in Mercerville. Go to 1077thebronx.com/wakeuprider to listen live on air, online, on app, and to catch up on past episodes. Welcome back to the Tri-State Sports Ramble on the Princeton Review's number 18 ranked best college radio station, 107.7 The Bronx. Once again, I'm your host, John Coro, joined alongside Joshua Uhas. We were just talking about the Yankees. Sped up a little bit there, but that's because I want to get to the other two teams as well. After all, we are the Tri-State Sports Ramble. But we're going to talk about the New York Mets. They were I forgot to update the score earlier today, as you could see on my notes, Josh, but they had an 8-game losing streak going into today, the Mets, but they...
And if I recall, I think they were getting blown out today.
Yep, and they extended it to 9 with most recently losing. I believe the final score was 12-4 over the Chicago Cubs. Not a good way to start the series. Man, they're struggling like crazy.
They are really struggling. I mean, swept by the Athletics, swept by the Dodgers, and then losing to the Cubs, and then it's just been a crazy downward spiral. It's not a good run for the Mets at all.
And keep in mind, before they got swept by the A's, they've already lost 2 out of 3 to the D-backs. And so, and ironically with the D-backs, most recently, Tommy Pham, I think it was last week, like 6 days ago, Tommy Pham getting called up, Ronnie Mauricio going down. I did not agree with that move at all. And the reason why is because Mauricio is much more of a better hitter than Pham. I think Pham's washed. But ironically, Mauricio... just with Mauricio, when that pinch hit walk-off single, you remember that walk-off single by Ronnie, right?
Yep.
That was the last time the Mets won. And ever since then, he's been down in Syracuse. I mean, man, I don't agree with that move at all. But just the way the Mets are playing, it's tough. It's tough if you're a Mets fan.
They're not
right
even
now.
like losing in a good way. They're just getting dominated.
Yeah, they are. They're getting dominated. Their bats, when the bats heat up, they get no pitching support. When they do get the pitching they need, their bats are silent. I mean, 2-0 to the Athletics Friday, like you said. 11-6 on Saturday. The bats did fine. Their pitching was terrible. 1-0 on Sunday, guys. And then the Dodgers, it was crazy. Lost 4-0.
They scored 2 runs that series.
Yeah, 2 runs all series. That's embarrassing.
And yes, the Dodgers are good.
I
yes,
I get it.
Give you that, but you have to score more runs. And the thing is, the pieces that were supposed to step up, like your Carson Bench, they brought him up as a rookie, put him in, assuming he was gonna kind of take. Obviously, he wasn't gonna take over. He's a rookie. You wouldn't expect that, but
yeah,
not really doing exactly what they need. Lindor, completely different.
Oh yeah,
and just is not what we've seen in past seasons from Lindor.
Yeah, and well, with Mets fans, you go into the season thinking that you're not going to be as strong just for the sheer fact that Pete Alonso is out and Brandon Nimmo is out, right? But you set the bar very, very high because of all the players you brought in, like Bo Bichette, Devin Williams, Marcus Semien beat me right to it, yeah.
Luis Robert as well,
absolutely, he had a walk-off home run on opening weekend. But that plays like that, opening weekend home run from Robert, Carson Bench going yard, you set the tone right away. And the fact that you're collapsing is bad because you set the bar that high. The
problem is you're asking a lot out of pieces that have not shown that they can do it in recent years.
Yeah,
like Semien has a 600 OPS in the last couple of seasons. Man. He's just not yes, he had a very good run, especially helping the Rangers get to the World Series, and even the Blue Jays in the 1 year he was with them, he was really good. Obviously, that was when he got put into the MVP kind of race and got his big contract with the Rangers. Mm-hmm. But he's had good seasons, but you look at the last couple years, Semien has not been the guy you want. Now, granted, it's not like teams don't do reclamation projects where you grab someone that is on a downswing and hope that they turn it around. But they also did the same thing with Robert. Yeah, and granted, he's had some big moments, but it's hard to rely on that, and you lost, and you consider the production you lost, like the power production from Pete Alonso and what Nimmo was able to add, just his versatility. They just haven't been able to replace that.
Nah, it's showing now. It's still early. They could easily
There's
turn it
still
around.
plenty of season left.
Yeah.
And we've seen like teams shift completely. I mean, we've seen teams that were not looking good suddenly get into the playoff race. We saw the Marlins last year. They were a really good team.
Oh yeah.
At the end of that season.
Yeah, they were developing prospects very, very well. It's just got out muscled, I guess, if you could put it like that. But the Mets and Cubs played earlier at 2:20 p.m. It's going to be the same time for both tomorrow and Sunday. Typical Wrigley Field atmosphere. But now, for our last segment with 2 minutes left, we're going to move on to the Phillies. Their most recent game on Wednesday, they lost 11-2. Just a rough one for Jesus Luzardo. 8 earned runs through 5
I mean,
thirds.
that's the duality of Luzardo. He'll give you really good outings, but there's always that time when Luzardo gets shelled.
Yeah, that's the big problem with him. And so we talked about the D-backs earlier with the Mets. Phillies recently had one themselves past weekend. They lost 5-4 Friday, won 4-3 Saturday, but then also lost 4-3 Sunday. But interestingly enough, on Monday, as I mentioned earlier, I was actually able to go to the game, and an offensive explosion. Don't you like when you go to a baseball game, you see a bunch of runs scored on each side? It's not necessarily a pitcher's duel, and you see, like, Kyle Schwarber went yard twice. It was just great to see.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that you got to go to that game was pretty sick. And then actually, I'll be going to, because happy birthday, Anne Marie.
Yes, sir.
I'll be going to that game tomorrow.
That's right.
And it's Chris Sale versus Christopher Sanchez. So good matchup. And even though Philly also on a pretty kind of rough start to the season, like not the season start they want. I mean, they're only like 2-3 games below 500, but obviously you don't want to be in that position. But I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's only been the early part of the season. We see teams completely shift. I mean, we've seen scenarios where like the Pirates have started like 12-0 on seasons.
Yes.
And then went back to Pirates form. We've seen teams like the Yankees go really cold, like in summers, especially like June, July. The Yankees love to get cold in that point, and like it looks like there's no chance. You even look at last year. Look at the Toronto Blue Jays. They were not in a position where they were a top-end contending team. Suddenly, out of nowhere, their pieces really start clicking, and that end of the season, they really jump up and they make it to the World Series. So like, that's the thing, is you really never know. And obviously, we're going to overreact to every one of those 162.
Yeah, we're just baseball fans. We overreact. There's still a lot of season left, but that's it. Real quick before we end things off, Phillies did lose 10-4 to the Cubs Tuesday. Right now, speaking of the Braves, they are currently taking them on. Let's look up the score real quick and update anybody who is listening right now at the moment.
By the way, with that Magic game, Magic are up. Last time I looked, the Magic were up 30.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, Hornets are not... Hornets not looking good unless they have the most miraculous comeback in them. Ooh. And that one's also going to need a miraculous comeback.
Well, right as Josh finished that sentence, I looked up the score. The Phillies are losing 8-0 to the Braves, end of the 8th inning.
It was already 7-0 after 3 innings, so...
Oh, man.
That's
rough. All right, well, unfortunately, our time has run out. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so we're going to end things off here today. Thank you for listening to the Tri-State Sports Ramble. We will be back next Friday, April 24th from 8 to 9 p.m. Stay tuned for more of the biggest hits and best variety on the Princeton Review's number 18 Best College Radio Station, 3-time 2026 IBS Media Award winner, and 5-time NAB Marconi Radio Award nominee for College Radio Station of the Year, 107.7 The Bronx.
107.7 The Bronx, WRRC-FM, Lawrenceville, New Jersey. No. Oh, it's me, the cable